Welcome to Shri and Kira Live. As our world spins seemingly out of control, we are all experiencing time speeding up, chaos shifting to a new level, and a yearning to know the greater mysteries of the universe. What does it all mean? Visionary spiritual teachers and best-selling authors Shri Ram Ka and Kira Ra explore these mysteries, offer live soul readings, and invite you to open up your mind, body, and spirit to the paradigms that are shifting. Bringing you fresh perspectives and timeless wisdom, here are Shri and Kira.
Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Shri and Kira Live. I am wisdom teacher Shri Ram Ka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and we welcome you from our beautiful Temple of Light, one of the beautiful stone facades you're seeing behind here from our temple up at the top of the mountain, to you. Welcome to a day where, every day for Shri and I is a day of love. Every day for Shri and I is a day of celebration. So we always kind of smile at the holidays. And so in today's holidays of loving expansion, we are celebrating the love of you that ignites through the yoga of self-ascension, the love of you that, let me just ask you this, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? What are you noticing? What's manifesting? This is such a crescendo moment. This is such a big week that I'm losing my breath thinking about it. Let's get to all the stuff we need to say before we get into it, because there's just so much to share.
Absolutely. And so thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
And if you're catching us live, we offer you a big hug live. And if you're catching us in the archives or the recordings,
Woohoo!
we offer you the same hug of appreciation.
Absolutely.
Because your attention, your love makes a difference. And you can find this broadcast at Official Shri and Kira YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. You can find it at Oneness Talk Radio, BBS Radio, and many affiliates who are picking up the stream. And we say thank you to all of you.
And we want to say thank you and offer, the bow of divine thank you to all of you, whether you were with us or not in person yesterday, for the AVESA UPLEVEL. I lose my breath talking about it. I'm sure over in the chat rooms you're all talking about it already, but AVESA energy, and this is why we're talking about it and expanding it right now. The AVESA energy had such a huge impact that last night, what was so evident was that the reason I haven't given the final of the shield, the reason I've been giving all these little graphics and things, was because something inside of me said it wasn't finished. Well, today we're going to show you the finished one. And what was missing was the heartbeat of AVESA to pump it, to get it going. And so that has been woven together. And yesterday we ignited that heartbeat of humanity. That is what this year is about. We are soaring into this March equinox. We are coming so close. Remember, February, March, and April is a 3-month, I'm using the word extravaganza because there is just so much happening. And right wedged in the middle there in the March equinox is one of the most peak moments of the whole 2-year UPLEVEL experience. And it literally sends up an energy that will be until we come to the equinox in September. And so that moment, you feel it, don't you? You breathing up right now. And so, Shri, let's put up the February calendar. I want you guys to see the February UPLEVEL calendar, because if you look at yesterday, the 13th, here's what made that day really special. Number one, it happened way out in the creation energies of the universe. If you let your eyes relax, you're going to see the spirals of creation energy rising out of the chalice as this empowered divine feminine opening the gates of creation. That's the graphic that I was called to create for that month. And if you look at the 13th, remember, every single graphic is made to reflect the calendar. We were all the way in the outer realms of creation. And the beauty of that is that on the 11th, on that illuminated new moon, I'm going to move right from here to the ascended numerology. What happened? We've been talking about this, right? On the 11th, on February 11th, 2021, we came in to the high heart, which means we are actually mirroring the energy of the month, which means the choice of the choices before you.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, really breathe into that. And that's why. How are you feeling?
Because
right?
that high heart is calling you to become more available to all that is.
Yeah.
It is that opportunity to be less reactive and more loving in a peaceful way. Because the high heart is the heart energy that says, I accept you and I accept all that is. And from that acceptance, I actually love you, because I witness you and I appreciate you as you are.
And that means that right now, all of this love, this day of love, is about celebrating the love that says, I love you, within the sacred union of the divine blessing of this body of form that is receiving and the master that is giving. And in that balance, the two dance, and really miracles happen. You know, when we were just getting ready to get on the air today, we've all been talking lately, and I was noticing today you could really see it, so we're going to show it to you. But those of us that are living here full-time at Tosa Blue Mountain, and we have a brand new wonderful being here. Her name is Kathy. I can hardly wait for all of you to meet her. She is our new general manager, a beautiful Ecuadorian woman who also speaks great English. And one of the things that has been kind of interesting for both Shri and I has been our hair. And you can see it in the camera here. Do you guys see this? Do you see what's happening here? And look, if I lift it up, look. So you see this, I did not do all that. You see like these huge waves. Then you notice from here, I'm going to stand up here. I'll lead into Shri. So look, do you see that? So you see how like right here, and then this is a whole different set of hair.
Two layers here.
There's literally two heads of hair. Well, here's what's happening. I was losing, look how thin this hair is. I was losing so much hair that I had been debating literally shaving my head. And was I supposed to shave my head as part of this experience?
Every time she washed her hair, she would show me her hairbrush, and it was filled with all this hair fall.
I would cry.
And this had been going on for more than a year,
Yeah.
and we certainly have tried different remedies for that, but it just seemed to be a vibrational thing. That
exactly.
The hair, and I know a lot of women had mentioned it too.
Exactly. And so what we want to show you is that, look, so you see right here, look, this is new hair. Look how long it is. This has only been growing for maybe a year-ish. And look at this. And look at the texture. This is the texture from when I was a child. And when I was a child, my hair was very kinky curly. I mean, almost nappy curly, big balls of frizz. And so this is interesting because we also wanted to prove that it is all my hair, that I'm not doing anything. But look how thick. My hair is so thick up here. And look at down here. And so at this moment, because I'm not cutting it, we are letting, it's doing what it needs to do. This is part of the rejuvenation process. Same with Shri. You're starting to see it here on the camera. The roots of Shri's hair are coming in brown. And it was actually Bria Rose who first noticed that. And you have not had brown hair since college. Late 20s.
Yeah, I started graying in my early 30s, significantly. College, I had the little wisdom streaks, and then it just...
And so this is being shared with you in the spirit of what's happening right now, which is the energy of the AVESA is calling in your mastery choice. And we, on the 11th, when that beautiful illuminated new moon birthed, and we were in this void of creation, but aware, and then came back in to our divine presence, aware of the creation. Then we went into that Friday, which was the Lunar New Year of the Ox. And this is about tenacity. This is the year of spiritual tenacity. And that's why Shri and I challenge you. Join us for the journey. Join us for the year-long journey. Join us at the very least for AVESA, which started yesterday. You can still get yesterday's video and catch up. Wow. wow. But after the middle of this week, you will not be able to catch this one live. You'll have to take it as a home study. So if you're being called, the mastery choice is now. And yesterday, during the AVESA opening, so much happened. And it began with the opening of the actual ceremony of preparing for every time we have the honor of meeting with you. And as a matter of fact, what we didn't know was that Bria Rose was capturing some B-roll, which is actually in the film today. So that's going to be interesting to watch.
Behind the scenes.
Some stuff that made me blush. And I was like, Bria, you really sure people want to see this? So we're trusting Bria on that one. But remember, Mercury, and I want to go back. I want to put up another graphic here. I want to go back for a moment right here, guys, to the February calendar, because remember that this week, right now, this Friday, we are out of the retrograde of Mercury. But not only does this Mercury retrograde go direct on the 19th, we still have a post phase, but the direct energy coming in on the 19th is also an up-level date. So do you feel it? We are 5 days away from another up-level. And this time, the up-level is happening in the rings of the gate that are holding open the expansion. This up-level is about anchoring who you are as a master, and then really being able to walk with that energy until we get to that full moon of the 27th. And I go back here, when you look at the post phase that begins on February 20th, everything that's happening right now, everything you're doing, everything that you're manifesting, everything that you're walking through, all of that is going to expand your vision and all of the areas of the upper crown of the body. It's going to be your third eye, your star consciousness, the cosmic prime meridians, even the crown chakra, just a little bit. All of that, all of the parts of the body that relate to that, all of that is going to go into high gear. I mean, more than you have ever experienced before, if you let it. And then on that beautiful full moon, we walk into the end of February in our lotus chakra, in our mastery presence. And so the choice is in front of you right now. And this was that radiance of the expanded AVESA. It was a call. It was, in talking about Blavatsky and how this came to be and all of the synergies that are coming forward again, that this is that moment where you are really being invited to consciously choose in a moment where we are in a double choice. The high heart is radiating the energy of the month. It's like a choice of the choice.
Yeah. And AVESA is such a wonderful attunement to receive.
Wow.
Whether or not you choose to practice with clients, that's a secondary decision. However, the attunement of AVESA opens up conscious connection with your mastery.
Yeah, it does.
And when we are offering the AVESA balancing, which we're going to be teaching next week, this is why you can still jump in. And when we offer the AVESA balancing next Saturday, you're going to discover how to quickly facilitate a person to feel and to know the ascended state of being. And we call it the 7-minute miracle. It truly
is.
It truly supports a person to discover, oh my goodness, this is me. And with that recognition and acceptance of that higher vibrational truth, the truth of who you really are, we begin to integrate solutions for all of those seeming problems that we used to be in our life, because we're vibrating at a place that can see further and that has access to greater wisdom. This is the value. It's one of the values, actually, because it opens up a lot more.
It really does. And I want to say, as far as opening up a lot more, we forgot to give you guys those phone numbers. So remember, I'm noticing the lines are already filling even without giving them. But hey, here are the lines. Get in there. We want to hear from you. Do you want to jump in on this conversation? Do you have a question for Shri? Mini soul reading. 888-627-6008. Again, that's over at BBS. 888-627-6008. Or, of course, over at Oneness Talk Radio, 517-208-1500. Again, that's 517-208-1500. Shri, I want to jump into this past week.
Yes.
Because if you guys really look at the past week, this past week, we've seemed to be, February has really been this series of like Saturday to Saturday culminations, you know?
Every week has
right?
had a quality.
Starting with January 30th.
Yeah.
And let's go back and remember what happened on January 30th. Well, two things. Number one, that's when this Mercury retrograde began. It began on January 30th. Where were we? We were deep in Cañar territory, standing at the top of the Cerro Narillo and having extraordinary expansion. And then the next night, the fire. Then walking through a week of other very interesting energies and revelations coming really full circle that following Saturday when the warriors came to the Temple of Light.
Yes.
and that torch began. Well, that closed yesterday.
Yeah.
And let's look at that week. Let's look at what has transpired during this past week. And this has been miracle after miracle after miracle. And for many, it has been a week of drama and chaos and engagement. And that is really, and I want to bring it forth because yesterday in AVESA, it was so beautifully said again. Remember that those density obstacles are there until you're able to walk through them. Witness through them. You know, I was really humbled yesterday to be reminded and to share with all of you as you're tuning in here right now that last week, the 13th, of course, last week had the illuminated new moon, everything that started birthing through the entire week. But it culminated with AVESA.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at those Saturday progressions that on January 30th, the Mercury retrograde began, the abode of the warriors opens. The shield of Zadkiel comes in, right? The following Saturday. It's the following Saturday after the unification. I had heard it that Sunday. The cosmic Isis appears, but then this shield of Zadkiel comes in. This past week, the miracles that have been sent to Shri and I from people that have been using the shield of Zadkiel, so profound. We're doing a very special Soul Mirrors episode on it this Tuesday. Make a note. You want to be there, especially now that we have these evolutions that we're going to be showing today of the shield and where we are now. And I want to just bow before Madame Helena Blavatsky. I have been so blessed in my life to have this beautiful gift and to finally allow myself to share it without feeling all the things that I was taught to feel in my family of origin. You know, you're the freak, you're crazy, you're this, put her in private school, just lock her away, you know, the whole thing. And so the blessing of that, of the being, the blessing of this moment right now. And I want to invite you to consider this. What if we are the mainstream? What if we are the consciousness that is expanding? What if there is no other that you need to change yourself for? Because we can meet each other here in the truth of who we are. Because that's what last week culminated for me. That's what it really culminated for me, is that Shri and I, from the moment we stepped out, from the moment Zadkiel pushed us out, and believe me, pushed me out, we have been told by too many people, you don't appeal enough to the mainstream. You know, you have to dumb it down. You need to talk in simpler language. And while there was a moment where we actually bought into that, and we really tried to do that, it was so incongruent with who we are and so incongruent with the work that we chose, as all of you know, we chose to honor the greater call, which was shown to us on our honeymoon, which was when we were down in Merida in the Yucatan on our honeymoon, and the rainbow appeared, and it was amazing, and showed us basically our journey that would wind back up in Merida, which seems to be happening right now. It's kind of interesting as well. And so the reason I'm sharing all of this is that right now, we are being called to move forward in consciousness. And if you look at the Saturdays as they have lined up, this retrograde is going to officially close on Friday the 19th with an up level that's really going to be the 19th and the 20th, because the pull, and this is why the pull is so strong, and why the introduction of the AVESA and all of this coming back together. And I we might have, I wanted to read, we actually might have, and I think we do, I want to read to you something that we read during the AVESA yesterday, because this was a quote that Blavatsky had put out there in the AVESA, and I don't know if I'll be able to find the exact document, but the quote basically once again had said that when we first offer you AVESA, which she offered to me through a full body transmission that I bow before, she said, teach the basics. And then, and I didn't even really pay attention to this until we read it yesterday, and we published this quote in 2013 and read it from that document yesterday. She said, and when your planet reaches that evolution in consciousness, the expanded will be taught. And that was the next Saturday. So we had Abode of the Warriors, unification of the warriors and the light workers, the release of the shield of Zadkiel, and now AVESA.
Right.
We're being armed. I want you to get that. Pay attention. We are being given everything we need to wear the armor of the law of instantaneous manifestation and really do this. I'm very excited.
Absolutely. And there's an important discernment to capture along the way.
Yes.
There are so many of you that are saying yes to your own ascension process, your upliftment. And the path or the yoga of self-ascension is as unique as you are. However, there are common zones that we transit along the way. And one of these zones is when we have one foot in the old paradigm and another foot in the coming paradigm, in the more ascended frequency. And when you are dancing with trying to juggle everything that you've already had set in motion while being open to that which is coming forth through you and as you, that is your vibrational upliftment. Well, what happens is there is a moment, or perhaps many moments, of seeming turbulence. And this is why all of these energies and this additional techniques and the rest of it are coming forward. Because if you do not stabilize on the, let's just call it the ascended side of the fence, you'll be uncomfortable. You'll be dancing with distortions. Let's just leave it there. Trying to keep the toothpaste in the tube over here while opening up over here. And so it's incumbent upon all of us to acquire the skills we need to navigate the world while also holding open the chakras and the frequencies which nourish our highest authenticity.
Yeah.
I used to refer to, the higher self, but now what the language I use is it's your authentic self. It's your authenticity that is emerging ever more fully. And this is why so many people are discovering little rumbles in their throat chakra, because this is the chakra of truth. And are you expressing what is resonant with who you are, or are you rehashing something you were taught that you've outgrown? And therein is a dynamic that lives in this chakra. And so, beloved ones, AVESA is offering that nourishment and stabilization to hold the ascended state of being. Because as we hold it together, we send out a coherent wave which calls more folks into that strata, which leads me to one final sharing. There are folks that said to us, your information, it's hard to grasp, or you're a little ahead of where things are. You need to, simplify it, etc. And as you look at a lot of the material we have posted at Shri and Kira, the messages from the masters, some of this material will kind of blow your mind. There's some truly wonderful wisdom that is shared there, that it takes a certain state of consciousness to really enjoy it and really let it in and understand. And when we're not quite there, it's kind of tough. But to dumb it down dilutes it.
Well, and I've got to jump in because not only does it dilute it, it would have ruined it.
It distorts it.
Because now that we're unlocking it,
Yeah.
And this is why yesterday the Blavatsky quote hit me so intently, is because, as all of you, many of you know, through Monday Magic, back on March 13th, 2020, Shri and I came out and said, we're with you. This was when COVID really started affecting the planet. And we said, okay, we are here and we have not stopped, nor will we. We all know this is our call. This was the moment. And so I think we're all busier than we've ever been. And what happened during the power of unlocking these for this moment is that the gift of you and I not doing all of that, the gift of Shri and I not selling out, not signing the big money contracts, not accepting the bullshit deals, because that's what they are, guys. Anyway, we said, okay, we're going to go do what we know we're being told to do. And we packed it all up. We knew and felt there were shifts coming on the planet. Zadkiel had offered us that information, and our journey began. And now that we are here in Ecuador and we are unlocking all of this, and you are with us in real time doing it, it's so amazingly perfect, because by leaving everything exactly as we were really guided and almost outright told to do, this moment is happening. And here's what's so beautiful. We all knew then. We just weren't conscious of it. But we were all dancing in that moment because we knew this moment was coming. And we knew that it was important that we came together again. And we are now doing it. We cannot stress enough in every show, in this moment right now, really try to wrap around, relax, or receive. Your level of consciousness, opportunity, expansion is greater than it was at the time of Atlantis, and mirrors the culminating moments, which is why within all of us, we always feel this imminent energy of, right, what's going to happen? The key is this: in this moment, through saying yes to your conscious awareness, by saying yes to the expansion that is before us right now, paying attention not only to the shield itself, but to the message that was contained in the shield. The message of that discourse. Go to shriandkira.com, read Archangel Zadkiel's shield. This is free. It's all up there.
As an article.
Right there. You'll see it on the homepage. Scroll Archangel shield. Read it and print the PDF. Pay attention to the words, because the miracles that we are in right now, Mercury's doing this. Mercury's going direct. So you're being pulled into your own little spotlight. So who's going to be there? Who's going to be there? We've been out in this beautiful universal creation. We came flying back into that high heart on the 11th with the clarity of the illumination of the new moon. We have ignited this beautiful lunar new year, this spiritual tenacity energy. And then yesterday on the 13th, on this peak third moment of the new moon energy, AVESA bursts forward. That's the mirror of the mirror. And now we are having Mercury say, okay, get ready. Because on Friday, we are a shooting star. You're being pulled into the direct position of you. So what does direct look like for you? And I want to share an email.
Please.
All right. So what does direct look like for you? And Shri, maybe you want to read it?
Happy to.
All right. I'm going to put my iPad in front of Shri. Now, this one is kind of long, but it was sent to us. It's been here for about a week or so I do apologize for that. However, I think a lot of us can relate to it. So let's receive this beautiful sharing.
Oh, that is long.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Well, you'll know where.
All
Or
right.
would you prefer I do it?
No.
Okay,
Well,
there we
read it
go.
before, so we'll
All right,
see.
so her subject line.
Reunifying compassionate wisdom.
Let's receive.
Namaste, beloved Master Lady Kira Ra and wisdom teacher Shri Ramka. Namaste. I am writing today to share an experience I had last week when the grip of fear and self-doubt spiraled me into a tailspin of victim consciousness.
Let's breathe that in. When that spiraled her into the victim consciousness. This whole opening line says, I'm awake enough to see that I was in victim consciousness, that I was spiraling downward. And so, again, this is why we're sharing this email. Yeah. It's really one because we all have those moments. It's what we do with them that matters.
Exactly. And to be able to witness it gives you the ability to do something.
Right.
Here we go. I had an interaction with the real estate owner that we rent our beautiful home from. The message I received from him translated internally as put up and shut up. The rage that filled my whole being was one I had not experienced for many, many years. It activated my victim consciousness, and I fell deeply into anger, self-righteousness, and wanted revenge like never before.
Now, I want you guys to pay attention. How many of you are wrestling with anger right now? There is a lot of anger energy on the planet. And so the planetary thought body right now is very rage-filled, and when you're engaging with those that are carrying a planetary thought body consciousness, they are frequently having some form of that energy in them. So this is why we keep asking, how are you feeling? What does this mean with the retrograde? So another reason why we're sharing this email.
And oftentimes old stuff does come up for healing.
Exactly.
So here we go. So she was having the anger experience. So I began reciting the mantra of self-ascension over and over and over again, and found myself in my clinic space, which is filled with crystals, where I perform high energy work with others, and I burnt sage and I smudged my whole being. Then the tears came. Boy, did they come. It felt like I was in an emotional avalanche, and I continued to recite the mantra over and over and over until I had exhausted all the tears. Then my body started shaking, and I had the guidance to go outside, so I did. Breathe, AVESA, breathe, AVESA, breathe, AVESA. My body began to calm, and my breathing returned to normal. At that point, a red dragonfly with green wings landed on my left shoulder.
Love it.
It startled me at first.
Love it.
And I met with my heart full of compassion and love. Thank you, Dragonfly, for your transformational energy.
Yeah.
She flew off my shoulder, and I followed her with my gaze as she landed above my head. Then 2 wedge-tailed eagles caught my eye as they were flying toward me. They danced in the sky like 2 courting lovers and broke off to fly in opposite directions. I laid down and watched as one of the eagles circled several times above my head. I knew the grip had passed, and I felt free again. Compassion filled my heart, and I said, thank you for reminding me that I too can fly again. I watched as she disappeared into the cloud and turned my head, only to see the other eagle circling above me in the direction of the south. I realized that the man who gifted me this experience of density had given me the biggest blessing of all, a raw and very old belief and family code of put up and shut up had been exorcised out of my being. I could see very clearly how I'd been choosing to stay quiet and small with my own boundaries and love while I put up and shut up when I could be speaking my truth from a deeper compassion and love. Now, this had passed only 2 days ago. I feel stronger than ever. I have spoken up and loved myself more to people in my family and close loved ones when that old energy has presented itself. And I no longer carry a physical reaction, and I have clarity in communication like never before.
Yeah, that's true love. That's really loving yourself.
Thank you, beloved masters and community of masters that are riding this wave by my side. Together we are better, and we will rise with compassion, love, and appreciation for all that is. I'm so grateful for the ensoulments in Monday Magic and all the others that are offered by the angelic realm. I know these teachings help me to navigate the shadowlands and return to the light stronger, more vital, and ready to support all those that may be experiencing the same. I am blessed to have embodied the pathway of self-ascension. Your loving sister from down under, Carol.
Mwah. Well, to you down under, Carol, thank you. Thank you for the blessing of sharing that incredible letter with us and really sharing what I know a lot of you are thinking and going through. You know, in this moment right now, this is why looking at how everything has come together, remembering that all of the support we need, everything that is coming in right now, is 100% aligned with all that is. And one of the things Carol mentioned, and I want to go ahead and let's give you the big drum roll, and maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't. Then we'll do a close-up. But one of the things Carol mentioned was the mantra. And really, I cannot even begin to share with you how many times over the past 19 going on 20 years, the mantra of self-ascension has gotten me through. And we have it everywhere. It's always around. And one of the things that I think Carol's letter really shared was that, and she talked about, I just kept saying the mantra till I was exhausted. I have done that. That's why I always have at least one mala on. Grab a mala and just start. I am here, I am ready, I am open. When you think you just can't take it anymore, when your mind is trying to take over, when you know you're losing the love of self, when everything doesn't seem to make sense, I am here, I am ready, I am open, guide me. And even if you're not sincere when you begin, keep doing it. Carol modeled that beautifully. You just keep going, because the more that you do it, what you're really doing is, do you see here? The more that you declare, I am here, what you're doing is you're opening your mind. I am here. Open your mind. I am ready. Expand your vision. Go beyond the paradigms. That's where we thrive. I am open. Ignite your heart, the ascended presence. Guide me. That is how we heal the world.
Yes.
And if you're, okay, never mind. I don't know what we did, but that was interesting. Okay, there we go. Go ahead, Shri.
Oh, no, that's funny. Everything.
Some of you might have seen already what happened on the shield. I'll show you later.
Yeah, we got a close up for you. You know, one of the things I want to salute the sharing from Carol is that it gives us all a model for the commitment required to move through the healing moments. When we are willing to look at and allow expression of that which is in our way, meaning that which is an old trauma or a limiting belief or whatever it might be, when we're willing to have those tears, when we're willing to open our heart to ourselves and say, okay, beloved one, show me what's in here. Show me what you're holding on to. Show me the energy behind my reactivity. And it's always an emotional energy behind the reactivity. And in the light of loving consciousness, witnessing it, it will resolve. It has nowhere to go other than completion. Everything that we're carrying that's old stuff is simply uncompleted stuff. It needs its moment of resolution. And from the ascended heart, it can resolve very quickly, almost instantly. From the density heart, it takes a fair amount of therapy. And believe me, I know that strata because I lived there for a while. That therapy is a density tool to gain familiarity and comfort with a short-sighted belief system. The ascended presence evolves you out of the limiting beliefs while simultaneously releasing the stored hurt. This is the difference. This is why I stopped doing therapy and why I stopped being a therapist, is that traditional therapy hones your coping skills and does not automatically hone your ascended consciousness.
And is a step that is needed to be able to arise there. And this is what's so important, is that we all walk through our steps. Everything that we do when we ascend, Shri's explaining this is how he ascended on his journey. We're not inferring that it isn't a valuable skill. It is.
No, this is
right?
This is the point of clarity.
Key. It's the gift that you will find the evolution within your own experience.
We all must learn to crawl before we walk, etc. And so learning the emotional tools to cope with density is vital.
Exactly.
And there comes a point where you're rehashing the same thing over and over, and it's time for an ascended energy to once and for all resolve it.
And this is Einstein, right? Because ascended energy is what? It is the experience of the shift of consciousness. It is, again, outside the paradigms where we all thrive. And you know, Shri, I'm noticing over at Oneness Talk Radio, we have got a lot of callers today. So why don't we invite someone in right now? I don't know if anyone has a hand raised or if we're just going to grab someone, but let's go ahead and say hi to, let's go to Concord, California. Hey, Concord, California, how are you?
Okay. Hello there.
Namaste. This is Amara Elizabeth here.
Hey, I'm Iran. Namaste. Welcome.
It's so reassuring. Everything you're saying today, a lot of it has come up for me. And I have a question for Shri as to a symptom. I did pull a muscle physically, but this has been lingering for 3 weeks. And my birthday is on the 19th.
Oh, hey.
This Friday.
Wow.
So, yes. So, I'm breathless just to ask for a little more insight and the reading, if I can.
Go ahead. Please share.
She is. She's asking you for insight about her muscle.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to share some more.
Yeah, no.
Muscle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And a birthday kind of reading.
Yeah.
All right, my dear. And with your permission, I'll look a little deeper.
Thank you. You do.
So what I'm noticing is that you're at a point of resolution of an old pattern that inhibits your ability to trust where you know you have to go. And that the muscles are relating to kind of that clinging energy, that sense of, I'm holding on to what I know versus relaxing into the flow of where I'm going to go. And that's the kind of the bigger message. The third chakra is what calls my attention. And the third chakra, as I'm sure you know, is about fully trusting your spiritual nature to guide your actions and form, versus trusting your brain or your old paradigms. It's not to say the old paradigms of the brain aren't useful, but they're to be called upon by the deeper spiritual truth to say, use these tools, so to speak.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, you got
the only reason I want to jump in right now, sweetheart, is because as Shri is sharing that with you, the vision they're showing me is you, and you've got all of these old cassette tapes and reel-to-reels and record albums and all of this like old media, old tapes. And you're out and you've got like this big, you're smoking this big cigar and you're in front of this bonfire and you're throwing them in and you're laughing and you're dancing and you're in this beautiful, like very shamanesque energy outfit. And they're saying that's the gift you're giving yourself for your birthday and for this year, is that you're finally burning the old tapes. You're not just talking about them. You're not just storing them. They're not in a closet where you can go look at them thinking one day you're going to need them again. You're literally saying, I transmute all of that to reclaim that which I am. Happy birthday, honey.
Much love to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, sweetheart. That was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it just brings me to share a little bit, from the AVESA medical intuitive perspective. Everything that goes on in your body has a symbolic underpinning.
Yeah.
And you can oversimplify things at times by saying, okay, I pulled a muscle. Well, how can you actually pull a muscle unless you're sending the muscle two signals? Think about it. We pull a muscle because either we're not listening to the body's, if you're exercising, for example, and the body's saying, no, that's as far as I can go, but the mind is saying, go further, and you might pull a muscle.
It's also about not paying attention to knowing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's where is your attention? Or if you are just walking and you stub a toe or pull a little muscle, it's because you're of two minds. You're kind of heading two directions simultaneously.
Yeah.
And you get into that.
So I want to offer something. I want to go back to, hopefully by now you have your copy of the UPLEVEL calendar for 2021. And if you don't, please go to shriandcare.com. It's right there in the top row.
It's only February. There's a lot of months ahead.
There's a lot there. But here's one of the things that's in there. And that is, and I wanted to share a reminder, especially as we're talking about pulling muscles and all of those things. Remember that 2021 is very much the 5-pointed star of eternal life. And so this is why this illuminated new moon energy of 2021 is so amplified. And as the Blue Starborn say right here, within the energy of the true 5-pointed star, there is no separation, no judgment. There is only the unification, the understanding, and your cosmic upliftment. That is this year. Right there, go to shriandkira.com, right under the Yoga of Self-Ascension tab, learn the Living Ankh practice, especially if you've pulled a muscle. Start stretching your wings. Feel the energy of this profound exercise, and especially around the time of the new moon.
Yeah.
This is that moment. This is what's going on. And so again, this is all inside of the UPLEVEL calendar, and I do encourage you to grab a copy of it. But given that what we were just sharing with Amara, I wanted to remind everyone of that, and also of the power of that 5, right? Remember, this year is what? This year is the 5 plus the infinite. 2021, 5 plus the infinite, a profound year. This is a year of eternal life. And look at the beautiful shield. And this is where I want to bring you. The first thing I want to remind you of is that this is the year of the reclamation of the 5 bodies of the expanded ascended presence. These 5 medicine bodies were unable to be fully reclaimed and balanced without the blessing of the shield. And here is what's so beautiful, is that within these energies is the medicine of the physical body, the medicine of the emotional body, the medicine of the mental body, the medicine of the spiritual body. Those are those 4 medicines that create the cross of perfect balance. But what brings it eternal life? What puts it into the energy of the 5? It's the medicine of consciousness.
Yes.
And this week, again, as we are being pulled into this Mercury retrograde direct experience, you are being, we've talked about this for a couple months, you're being outed. Whether you like it or not, you're going to be pulled direct on this Friday. So it's already happening. And what we're also interfacing with a lot of people, and we notice this over these energies that have been collected, as I've been calling kind of like our armor. We're being armed to really offer ourselves the blessing of this incredible, ginormous co-creative moment, is that when we give ourselves the gift of saying yes to all of this, when we, like as Carol started out, I noticed my rage and anger, I noticed my victim consciousness. It's not that you don't have it. It's how you deal with it. Yep. And this week is saying, okay, who's coming forward? Be the master. Be you. The more that you are you, the more that you say yes to you, the more that you love yourself with that compassionate wisdom, then the greater the opportunity for you to anchor in that 5th dimensional presence. So I want to remind you about concentric dimensionality and the spiral time that we're in right now. All of this is showing you, all of it. Remember, 2021 is the very first time. If you even go back a couple years, look at some of our YouTubes. I think as back in 2019, it was still like a linear experience, and we thought it was so wild because it started having some interesting wavy moments in it. Look at us now, right?
Right. Everything is a quantum expansion, not a linear.
Uh-huh.
And
what's so beautiful about AVESA coming in is that when we stay in the power of balance, in the AVESA balancing energy, our chakras lift into infinite energy spirals instead of orbs. And the orb remains in the middle, and I like to call it emanating its wings. Well, that's what this January, February is doing right now as you gaze at here. You are staring at what is a torus field inside of that creation discus of Vishnu that ignited on 8/8/2020. That was that Lion's Gate opening that called forward this energy with the resurrection of the empowered divine feminine. That has been building. That 0 point energy field in the middle has now become the creation of the creation. And so the January energy, as it spirals into the February energy, creates the first circuit of infinite presence. And this was why Archangel Zadkiel came forward and said, we are going to be offering you these additional energy wisdom downloads, and pointed us to the Shield of Zadkiel as the first of 11 that are going to be sustaining that all-seeing presence that ignites the 0 point energy field as the law of instantaneous manifestation. Remember, we're building up to those 3. See right there, there's 3 green areas, the 3 green harmonic like bursts. Mm-hmm. And the first one begins in May which is why the February, March, April matters, because this will close the 2 loops that will be here as the, let's just say, the divine cradle when all that energy starts expanding, and it's going to keep amplifying. And remember, it's all going to be about the March equinox through the September.
Yeah.
That's the bridge.
You know, one of the things I'm reminded of as I enjoy the graphic that Master Lady Kira Ra has created to communicate the flows is that when we're in the center of the cyclone,
Right.
we're able to see more, to be at peace more easily. And that all-seeing eye in the middle is the one that says, I'm taking this in. When we're dancing with our timelines, we tend to, oh my, time is moving so fast and I've lost track of things because I'm organized over here. And so it's kind of fun because we get to do it all. You know, you are participating at every section of that. However, your consciousness can be centered or it can be oriented over here or over there.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's wonderful as I enjoy the graphic is the whole figure 8 energy. That one, you know, we have a rising and a declining, a rising and a declining velocity, so to speak, with the qualities of each month. And so enjoy the journey because we're here.
We are here, and we have been given this amazing shield. So I want to go ahead and show it to you. I'm going to show you, first of all, the one that had the mantra with it again. Let my husband fix that. Sorry about that.
That little guy got
There he is. All right. So beautiful. So now what you are seeing, this is, look at the shield. And if you're not aware yet, what I have done is after yesterday, the shield has been amplified. This is the first time you're seeing this. And what has amplified it, and you can see a hint of it as you look at what I call the crowns of Isis in the 4 directions there, is the heartbeat of AVESA has been included into the shield. And this morning, and it's why I'm wearing a lot of amethyst today and a lot of love for Zadkiel today, Zadkiel's quotes about expansion, all about the illusion, and we're going a huge second half of the show. But take a moment and really gaze. And as you do, I'm now going to offer you to go into the center. So gazing at the shield, and now go into the center. And notice what happened. Notice what you're noticing. Notice what you're feeling. This is the amplified shield with the heartbeat of AVESA, and that happened yesterday.
Yes.
And so there is so much that's happening. And if you're having miracles, if you've been using the shield, if you've been having tons of power-filled experiences, we will be making, this is the one that will be made available. This is the final. It just wasn't ready until right now. And thank you for your patience as we've been unpacking this. And the more that you spend time with the shield of Zadkiel, the more you will discover. And so as you're breathing into that and as you're feeling the AVESA energy, we do want to share with you that we do have a little short film for you today. And when we come back, we're going to be really diving into that quote from Archangel Zadkiel. And I'm going to go ahead and read it again because this has been, along with the Shield of Zadkiel, and of course it comes from that Shield of Zadkiel discourse. What has happened is that this quote has brought so many into clarity that has been outrageously miracle manifesting. I mean, I'm talking miracles upon miracles upon miracles. So why don't we bring a hand to our heart? And I'm going to go ahead and read this. And again, we have, this is from the Shield of Zadkiel over at shriandkira.com. And then yesterday we had AVESA.
Yes.
And wow, so here it is. Entrapment feels like freedom when one is initially entrapped. And freedom can feel like entrapment when one initially feels freedom. The recognition that to be preoccupied with this illusionary experience, organized around a central unit of hate or anger or distrust, are all entrapment energies. And in this moment of discernment, and this week of really claiming discernment in this lunar experience in the year of the ox, which is really about spiritual discernment. We're going to come back after this short film, and we're going to talk about the expansion, the contraction, the choice, and how you can tell the difference to navigate, plus all of your calls and questions. And for the next 7 minutes, I'm going to go be embarrassed somewhere, and Bria Rose is going to offer you some B-roll from our AVESA, both before and during.
So
yesterday.
this all occurred yesterday. Here's a behind-the-scenes glimpse and an opportunity to feel some beauty.
All right. Enjoy. We'll see you in 7. It's kind of like the B-roll, right?
Yeah.
Look how beautiful.
And actually,
Look how beautiful that is.
Mm.
Here, hold on. Everybody take a breath. Take a breath. You ready? You know, it's 5 metals. That's gold, silver, platinum, copper, and I think zinc. Wow. Yeah, is that crazy?
Wow.
It's a one of a kind. This is from the Tree of Enlightenment in Uruguay.
the pistol grip.
Wow.
This is the Tree of Enlightenment in Uruguay. And this is from the Inner Sanctum, from the Inner Chamber.
Give it a good squeeze.
How about, I heard add some of this. So we're going to add 2. Okay. We're going to add some selenite wands. Like this is, you know, over a 400-year-old tree of a brand of eucalyptus that didn't exist. And all of us that gathered in that tree. And before we left, I painted a big Shiva Linga on the inside of the tree. And it was so big, 6 people could stand in it and sit and meditate in the middle of it. Because probably about 200 years ago, lightning struck it. But what I loved the most about it was that it was home, and this is not even close to an exaggeration, to probably close to 1,000 parrots. And so the roar of the parrots, which I loved, I would just sit out there and be with my parrots. When that beautiful egg that I have the crown on right now, when that broke, when it came back from Uruguay, I heard that it was because it was like, you see this, it's like a boat. It reminds me of the Egyptian boat of, you know, like going into the eternal. And I heard that it would hold the energy frequency and that like I could use these with people and they would always self-clean. This is the giant, you know, high aspect. I think this is this holds the energy and because that's outside, that's where the pizza oven is. And so you see what it does? And this actually is energizing the entire structure, the whole house.
Wow.
Yeah. This,
Much smoother.
you want to see what's in here?
Yeah.
Do you know what's in here? Okay. This is from when Kira Ra worked at the metaphysical store all those years ago.
Oh my gosh. These are your cards?
These are mine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I did runes, but this is just a set of the runes cards.
I've carried it my
And this was
I was like,
my,
you carry a pyramid with you?
this is actually Italian.
I'm a healer,
This
and I
has a
do it
lot
here.
to do with my heritage, and it's an Italian deck that I would very occasionally use. You want to see it?
Yeah.
You see the art? This is all this beautiful
Oh, the lovers
Italian
right
art.
there.
Yeah, that's the first one that came out. Look at that King of Swords. Is that crazy? And you're not sure, is that a man or a woman?
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, even in the body, for everything about it. Who is the king? I love that it makes you question. These are the feet of the guru. And this was the first thing Shri and I bought for our first temple of self-ascension, which was in the basement of my house in Colorado, where we had our second marriage when we first got married.
It's the first thing?
Yeah. 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 Aren't they beautiful?
The sandals of the Esina.
Exactly. I didn't know it at the time. This was long before that came in. They're even the golden color. You know, there were so many messages along the way, you know. All right, now we're going to light that. That is the original. I framed it. That is the original AVESA mandala, and Ramona made that after being at an AVESA event when she was 17 years old.
Okay, so
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the original. You see it everywhere. You see that in gold. In our website, you see it everywhere. Is, you know, the violet flame. This is the one that used to be really, really rose. And when we were down in the White Well in England, this is the one that turned violet. It has never turned back. Yeah. Yeah, and there were 18 witnesses to what happened that day. Things.
I think it's so much going on.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
You see that? So you have the Isis, but then you have the big wings. See all that? Those are wings.
Yeah.
That then are protected by the Nagas. These are more like creation Nagas on either side. Amethyst, malachite, opal, crystals. And then, of course, the phoenix in the back. I mean, come on. I mean, the
Sacred Union
symbology,
Phoenix.
and it's a Sacred Union Phoenix.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
that's just a little too crazy, don't you think? It's been waiting. I haven't worn this since New Mexico,
Wow.
but I really got that I needed to be wearing it again.
It
And
fits
all
you.
the Kanyari energy, you know, and wow,
Yeah, you
Boy,
got
has
an
this
Isis,
shifted.
you got the Phoenix.
the cosmic Isis, right?
Yeah.
And it's been sitting with the triple head dragon for so long now. Wow, I can really feel.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a Moldavite eye.
That is so
That's the violet ray, the violet one that happened
Yes.
when we were in England.
Yes.
And look, everything
So
went up
powerful.
level. And look at these, Shri. And then the gold, boy, did this demand the gold wrapped also around all of this. And the torch wanted to come out more. But everything is up leveling. And did you guys feel this? Right here? This part of the hands, when we were illuminating, I'm still,
Oh, yeah.
and the high
Absolutely.
pitch, like holy crow, there's massive, massive stuff. So,
Descansa un momento hasta que se cocine la pachamama.
yeah. Oh, beautiful. That's going to be wonderful.
Entonces, ese
Oh,
es el proceso.
wow.
Proceso, y ahí hacemos la pachamaca, y hacemos el pan pamico y la pan pamés, que es la tradición.
Sí, exactamente. Sí, ya,
Para
ya.
compartir todo.
Welcome back, beloved ones. We hope you enjoyed that energy and sharing. It was truly a wonderful day yesterday sharing the AVESA
Yeah, it really
energies with those that attended live. And we have captured everything on film for you, for those of you that want to say, I want to align with this. Let me have some.
Well, it was also nice. It was the first time we've done a private YouTube, and I was really grateful that everybody was able to really attend so much easier. And, we had both Bria Rose and Sue in the chat. It was really a very engaging, beautiful opportunity. And of course, coming to you live from the Atlantean Healing Chamber here at Toasted Blue Mountain, just one of our dreams come true, is a gift to share with you always. And I don't know if you noticed, but at the very end of that film, that was the shield before the symbol. And wow, you can really see the impact that this AVESA energy, this up-level energy has called forward. We are at a time unlike any other. And let's hear from you. Go ahead and get into those phone lines right now, because we're going to be in there very quickly. 888-627-6008. Again, that's 888-627-6008 over at BBS toll free. You want to get into the queue. And of course, over at Oneness Talk Radio, 517-208-1500. Again, that's 517-208-1500. And Shri, I think we should talk about this body. How many of you are having fascinating, right, this body. How many of you are having fascinating conscious vibrational shifts? And the reason I'm bringing this up is twofold. Number one, we need to talk about it right now. And this is a huge conversation. So much so you want to watch our other show, Explore the Mysteries, tonight. premieres 9 p.m. Eastern time. You absolutely want to be watching that because Shri talks about levels of consciousness in a way he has not done before. We talk about this sphere dimensional spiral and what it's doing to all of us again right now. And this week, with Mercury saying, okay, we're going direct, which for those of you that are saying yes, it's going to rock, right? And for those of you that are saying yes to, we're all mastering something, right? We're all mastering something. So are you mastering expansion or are you mastering the contraction?
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, we are either expanding or contracting. And if you're trying to say, oh, I know, I'm just going to stay in the center.
That's inertia. That's nothing.
You're going to wobble.
Yeah, big time.
And the wobble is going to feel bad.
Because every breeze gets you, right? If you're not in one energy or another, you're just whipsawed. Everything whipsaws you. And that means your cross of perfect balance can't find the center because your consciousness itself is under assault.
So let me give you a little spoiler alert.
Spoiler!
The very nature of your soul is ever expanding.
Right?
Far easier to get on the expansion side than to be on the contraction side. However, contraction at first can feel reassuring. Yes. It can feel comforting at first.
And this is what Zadkiel is talking about, right?
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm thinking maybe we should read that again.
And let's do it.
You know, we read that quote right before we went out and offered you that fun little video, and now and that fun little video I do need to share. It had the energy of AVESA in it.
Yeah, it
was more than a little B-roll. And wow, Bria, I have to remember now that the cameras are always on. And but thank you. It was really fun. It really was, and I hope we all enjoyed it. So let's listen to what Archangel Zadkiel shared again inside of the Shield of Zadkiel, which you're going to go read, right? Okay, here it is. Entrapment feels like freedom when one is initially entrapped. We're going to come back and do each line in just a minute, but let's read the whole thing together. Entrapment feels like freedom when one is initially entrapped. And freedom can feel like entrapment when one initially feels freedom. The recognition that to be preoccupied with this illusionary experience organized around a central unit of hate or anger or distrust are all entrapment energies. Taking a breath, let's do an AVESA, right? So, this is the expansion or the contraction. I mean, this really is it. It's that, and I love right now, we're in that 9, right? So we're in that choice. You are in the middle of the soul mirror of yourself right now. You're sitting in a room of choice. And if you are clear who you are, then instead of sitting in the middle of the room, you're actually holding the room, viewing the room with a 360-degree lens, loving it to create and have fun. But if you're sitting in the middle of the choice rather than commanding the choice, you're overwhelmed and feeling diminutive. And then if you put a heap and helping of hate or anger or distrust, because that carries doubt with it, then you're trapped inside the choice rather than commanding the choice into form. So I want you to really breathe that in, because that is one of those paradoxical moments of freedom or entrapment. And I have an email, and I'm not going to reveal who this person is. I will not change their name because I'm not going to say it. And I'm not going to say anything that I think would incriminate them. But I sincerely want to read this because this being has done the work. And in doing the work, this happened. And so I'd like to read this to all of you.
Yeah,
and this is someone who is a very successful business person. So I want you to remember that this freedom, this entrapment, this the way that it feels within us, it doesn't matter what you perceive your level of education to be. It doesn't matter what you perceive your world experience to be. This is a moment of spiritual discernment. This entire year through the lunar year of the ox, because we just walked into the ox, we have just pulled in, we had up until last Friday without it. Now, spiritual discernment has been added into the formula. And remember, it's been this retrograde. It opened January 30th, and it's going to close on the 20th. The 20th initiates a whole new cycle. And then we're going to kind of be in this moment of adjusting to the cycle until the new moon, the full moon, takes us forward again. So I want to share this because this is someone who is extremely intelligent, articulate, and accomplished, and still went through exactly the same thing anyone would go through, right? This is one of those, well, my gosh, if there goes I, if she can, I can, if he can, I can, that kind of thing. So may I read?
Please.
All right. Happy new moon. Good evening, Shri and Kira. My absence today could not be helped. Our company is indeed being restructured. And all because I finally recognized what is entrapment and what is freedom. Now this company can take off. It was never going to take off with the entrapment energy as CEO. And then she inserted the quote that I've been reading to you today. There have been moments the past few days during which I started to question myself, if even for a few moments. My guiding light has been those words above, and Kira, your warning to me that the company was being stolen. You were right. I couldn't see it. Now, capital letters, I see the long list of manipulative behavior. Simply stunning. I can't even bother to feel down on myself about it because the intricacy of the manipulation is just so stunning. That's when the smile comes in. It's like, wow, that was amazing, right? So the intricacy of the manipulation is just so stunning and so incredibly crafted. Literally the word wow. Yeah. Wow. Just know that I love you both. I am so grateful to you, and I can't wait to hear about everything. Well, I'm sharing this with all of you because this is the president of a major corporation who has said, yes, I will keep expanding. I will keep growing. I will bring consciousness into my corporation. Mm-hmm. That's the honor Shri and I have when we have the blessing of mentoring CEOs and mentoring people that are launching and saying, I'd like to be a CEO, or I'd like to launch myself this way or in this career or that way. This is that moment. Together we are better.
The truth of who you are is nothing to hide.
No.
The truth of who you are is beautiful.
Always.
It is full of divine inspiration.
Indeed.
And so as we honor and bow to the guidance that ignites our heart, to the guidance that ignites our spiritual vision, and we say, I will allow this to enter into my life here in form.
Exactly.
Then you can create beauty within all the traditional structures because you are infusing them with authentic love and energy and expansion and all the goodies.
And this is something to pay attention to that, I want to go back again because we do get a lot of comments on this one. And remember, this is just a small piece of this entire ensoulment with all my heart and soul. Please go to shriandkira.com, go to the homepage, scroll, I think it's like the second section there, our Shield of Zadkiel and the virus. This is really important. It's part of what happened when we have this January, February 1st infinite presence anchoring the open eye of the 0 point field of creation, because you are the living embodiment of what? Steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust. That's why the use of the word distrust is so important here, because all of that entraps us. All of it entraps us.
To be entrapped means I am the pinball in the machine.
There it is.
And you are that shiny little ball, that pure, wonderful thing, but you have identified with the game, and you're bouncing off action, reaction, polarity, and the way you keep bouncing is by holding inside and identifying with those emotional energies that create the polarity and springboards for further judgment, for further anger, for further frustration, for further disappointment, etc., etc. Those are like the little rubber bands in the pinball machine, springing, springing, springing. And once you are in the loop of dancing with that reactivity, it takes a deep conscious breath to still those waters. And those waters are stilled by your trust in your own divine nature. When we take that big AVESA breath and we connect with our divine inheritance, our spiritual DNA, all of a sudden the reactivity is seen for what it is, a dance, not an identity. And therein is the freedom. You can dance with density and have a smile on your face as long as you know who you are while you're doing it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, the dance will have more than smiles. There'll be terror and fear and
Right?
all of
Right?
the rest of that stuff. And that's the stuff that we use to wake up. So there's nothing to reject here. There's a smile to realize, oh, okay, all of that grit and all of that stuff has been polishing me, and now I'm shining. I'm ready to own my shininess.
And there it is. Own your shininess. And this is one of the things that is so valuable in this moment, in this experience, is once again the recognition, the recognition of the eternal cycle of all that is. And I just want to remind you that in this beautiful energy, in the way that we flow, you see that star in the middle there? We are right now standing in that 5-pointed star, in that beautiful living Ankh, in this year of the 5 with the infinite, which means we have this going on. The year that you're perceiving you're having is the star. The infinite is everything that's cycling around you. And so the key is, how do you choose to look at it? How do you choose to engage it? You're listening to this show because somewhere deep inside of you, the greater master is going, hey. And I can't tell you how many of you I want to walk up to and go, hey, right? It's now, quit messing around, right? Get up, And that get up, that hey, stop messing around is also the key to reverse aging. It's the secret to getting everything moving. It's that sense inside that says, wait a minute, hold the phone. If we really honestly believe everything we've ever said, are we living it right now? If in this cycle of this slice of the dimensional experience, in this moment of evolution, my angels, hello? It's like the universe is saying, how much more do we need to give you to prove to you this is the moment? And we know there's been a lot of other moments. Yeah. And what's so beautiful is that, and I want you to just kind of relax into this for a moment. All of those happened. I'm going to go back because we're old enough to do so. The harmonic convergence of 1987. Remember that? I always will. It was the year my daughter was born. I thought that was very profound. How about the millennium? How many of us are alive right now that stored water and food, right? Right over here, all because the computers were going to blow up. Oh my God, the one had to go to it too.
Supplies were going to get interrupted, etc.
Right? And here's the key. At what level of consciousness did these massive expansions happen? Well, they've been happening in ways that actually were coming from the outer in. And so when that harmonic convergence came, it was a boom, a welcome. And in the year 2000, as Archangel Zadkiel so eloquently explains, the gift was a freedom, a shockwave of energy that literally freed this experience, this realm, which is a mastery attainment, from the karmic imperative. Now, I know how alarming that can sound, so I want you to hear it correctly. It was a release from the karmic imperative. It was not a release from karma, because that's your choice. Yes. And that was one of the greatest mastery gifts ever given. And when that first came in, when Zadkiel first shared that with us, the hate mail, whoa. And Exactly. It's yours to choose or not. But that brings us to 2012, the Mayan calendar, and what was going to happen. And it's not going to be just December 12th. It's going to be this day, this time. Well, the one thing that the higher realms have always shared with us is that because we live in concentric dimensionality, which now we are actually experiencing, but we always lived in it, but now we're able to experience it. Because of that, because we are able to awaken our consciousness, because all of that is able to happen, anything that is offered to you as a hard date has to either be very, very imminent or so profoundly impactful in consciousness that the insertion is to wake up those around it to offer the support grid. And so we were living in Guatemala with the Highland Maya. We were literally living with them, brought to their sacred altars, involved with them. And they kept saying, no, stop saying what our calendar isn't. And that's why we wrote our book, 2013 Mayan Sunrise, because they wanted their voice heard. You are the priest was one of the things we taught in that book. You are the reader of the temple. You are the one to dismantle the dogma that says you need another to interpret what you know is the mastery journey. Because in the knowing, you become aware. And in that awareness, we gather at the table together. Come sit with us at this table. That's literally what Pampa Mesa is. Pampa Mesa is the community sitting at the table and Mother Earth cooking the food. And that is happening here twice over the equinox weekend.
Yeah.
Come sit here at
Join
this
us
wall.
for the potluck.
Come join us and co-create with Mother Gaia. Be with our indigenous brethren who are bringing their families, their children, their mothers, their elders. Come celebrate what we are. And if you can't be here in person and get down here, you can. You can. But if you can't come in person, then make sure you're with us virtually and make sure you're telling everybody you know. This event matters.
Yes.
This moment matters. And what's happening this equinox matters. wwaglobal.com. Everything you need to know. And please, if you are a social media expert, help us spread the word. We need help because this event matters. And this event, there are even parts of it that are free. You don't have to pay a dime to be part of the energy. You can register literally just for the free pieces. And if you want the whole weekend, it's a $22 love donation on this day of love, where you're offering your love for everything, access to the whole weekend, right? And you're offering your love out to the world because that money, 100% of it goes to the foundation of Clinica Linda and our food outreach and refugee programs. So why not give a little love, right?
Absolutely. One of the fun things that's been going through my mind is I'm stringing some Ethernet cable up the mountain.
To here, we're going
to go up to where the temple is.
We're getting it done.
And if you're participating
Miracles!
virtually, or if you're here, you'll get to see it as well. Is we will be broadcasting live the fire ceremony, the sacred songs, the dances that are going on.
Check this out. We have not announced this yet. We should be able to be broadcasting at 4:22 a.m. You will be, if you've engaged in the whole weekend, if Shri's theory works, you will be part of the ceremony live.
At the Equinox,
live at the Equinox, at the Temple of Light. First time the Kenyardi are here in over 2,000 years, and we're broadcasting it live. Help the world know. There is a documentary film being made about this experience. Help the world know. The energy from, I'm going to go into a little history lesson. Can we do that? Can we do a little? Okay.
Got time
Let's
for
do
that?
a quick little history lesson, and then we're going to start running to the phone lines. So here's our history lesson, if you want to say.
I'm all ears.
I know you are, and I'm just trying to decide how far back we want to go on this. Let's go to 2010. 2010, Shri and Kira leave the United States. And we knew we had to leave. We saw this. We had been shown in our honeymoon that we would never live there. We had been actually shown that we would wind up living in Mexico. And we went on this huge journey. And what happened was that through that journey of going, that is when the energy from the Himalayas, when the kundalini of the planet, very much the snake, came and began anchoring up the spine of the Andes. And if you notice what's happening, especially right now in India, and you notice how all of that energy has been moving, and many, many people were talking about this during that time, especially between 2010 and 2013, 14. It finally really got here very shortly after Shri and I moved here. I often feel the reason we had to go to Kedarnath before we lived here permanently, many of you may know, we were living in Uruguay. We flew up to Ecuador because it was clear we had to move to Ecuador, and it had to happen like now. And very much how we had moved to Uruguay had to happen now, So we flew up here, the miracle of how we found Tosa Blue Mountain. When we purchased it, we did not know Kedarnath existed because it was fogged in. Yeah. And we left here, flew to India. We were in India for 6 weeks, flew to Uruguay, packed up our house. 2 weeks later, come here on a clear day and discover that we every day are staring at this mountain we call Kedarnath, because the Jyotirlinga in Kedarnath has a very distinct shape. And this mountain, when you take a picture of it and you align it with the Jyotirlinga, matches identically. And when we were in Kedarnath, we were literally not abandoned, but stranded there.
Yeah, we couldn't get out because everything got fogged in. There's no movement.
And this was like 15,000, 16,000 feet in the Himalayas. It's very, very, very cold.
Chilly, indeed.
And we finally were able to secure very rustic, at least we weren't sitting out in the wind, accommodations. So it was an incredible night of energy. None of us slept. And it was so beautiful in so many ways. So I feel like I've never left Kedarnath. I feel like it's my one unfinished piece of India. And so in this moment that everything is coming together right now, the kundalini has been saying, stabilize me. It's been that cross of perfect balance, the equator with the kundalini in the Andes over here. You see how you have like the two circles forming around the planet. Well, that also, of course, is the energy of the AVESA symbol, as I'm just helping you feel that right now. Tosa Blue Mountain had to arise as this literal center of consciousness. Mm-hmm. Because what has not been flowing into the anchored points here, I'm not saying it isn't here, but I'm saying really anchored, has been the rise of consciousness, the true unification of the eagle and the condor. The revelation, Shri and I have had to live here a little over 3 years for the Temple of Light to fully come forward. The first 2 years, we didn't even know it was there. And people went up all the time. Nothing. Never knew.
No, there was a sense of the specialness of the area, but
exactly.
The actual clarity of what was there had not revealed itself.
And this is why, again, the WWA moment is so important. And with all my heart, please help us spread the word. We really do need help getting this event out there. WWAglobal.com. There will be people joining us from all over the world. Music, celebration, incredible oneness. A moment for us to collectively send the signal that will be the first part of this bridge that will really be here on the September equinox. Important time.
I just want to mention on the WWA Global this incredible opportunity to experience the energy of together we are better, to heal the heart of humanity. If you have a group and wherever you live that would like to gather together and participate together, to share the event and to have your own party at your place.
In whatever way you can based on your COVID energy, whatever's going on in your place. We're not encouraging large gatherings in your homes.
No, we're not trying to promote that. However, we are saying that we encourage you to connect and to inform your communities. And if you choose to gather together in some fashion, we can have a two-way communication.
We would love to feature you at the very beginning. In other words, if you would like to, in our opening ceremonies Friday night, the 19th of March, we would like to bring in all of you from around the world to have as many of us as possible together at one moment on the same voice the same experience, really co-creating. And we already have people coming in from all over the world that are going to be bringing energies from a lot of different countries, because we are building to the April ignition. Remember, it's February, March, and then what is April? April is as I am. April is the moment where the consciousness must start escalating, and where Shri and I, after so many years, now understand the miracle of the I Am book that revealed before us, and we will be unlocking the keys of this one very specific book. We encourage you to join us, because what we know is birthing is literally the Course in Miracles of Self-Ascension, that it is the moment to up-level everything, and that the basics have served us. Helena Blavatsky said it so well, teach the basics until the moment. And the basics have gotten us here. We started talking about that in the very beginning, right? The basics have gotten us here. The basics have brought us. But in the end, and we're going to let Helena say it again, here it is. I love it. Go beyond the basics, because there is no religion higher than truth. And the basics will never quite get you to the truth, because they're designed to always keep you asking for more. But when we break free, there's no longer anything to ask, because we are too busy creating. Instead of being the seeker, be the creator. Imagine the co-creative nature if we can come together as better, the co-creative nature of bringing that in. That is happening now. And this is all, you look at this February, and then this March, and then the April. So that's going to be our Monday magic starting in April. And when you're at shriandkira.com looking at that Shield of Zadkiel, which we pray you are, make sure you register. It's another donation. This is about us supporting this moment. Together we are better. And we are honestly able to do this. We just need to give ourselves permission. You need to give yourself permission to remember that you do know the alchemical sequences. You know how to work with the energy. You do know.
I just want to hang on a second. Where
I get so excited about this stuff, guys.
Which
one, sweetheart?
The AVESA symbol. Here, I want to bring this back.
Oh yeah, this is the new shield with the symbol.
We will have this available so that you can print it from the website later tonight. But here's the thing I want to mention to you. We're making this free to the world. This energy is vibrating at a frequency that will calm the waters, that will inspire the energy of love and joy to come forward. Because freedom is grounded in the expansionary trust of your divine nature. What is freedom? Freedom is I am, not I've been liberated from a temporary prison to go to the next prison.
Right.
So the density game is it's like the shell game. We go from this restriction to this restriction to this restriction, and each time there's this little burst of thinking I'm free, but actually you're just entrapped in a new way. Now, this is part of the whole understanding that entrapment is initially felt as freedom. Because there is a sense of security to the ego that happens.
Well, and this is when you read the ensoulment, this is one of the things that Zadkiel talks about, which is it always begins with a polarization. In other words, that it's always the ego. The ego likes the entrapment. The ego feels special. The ego feels justified. And quite frankly, to the world of density, entrapment is very attractive. Yes. Entrapment at first feels like freedom. And then you go back to this quote from Zadkiel, yet at the core of all entrapment is this anger, hate, distrust energy. It is the entrapment of the entrapment, whereby it feels freeing to be with others that carry the same energy of anger, hate, and distrust. And within those energies, you're beautifully entrapped, and many enjoy that, and that is their journey. And when the consciousness ignites and the freedom bursts forward and the true love anchors, you're able to really begin the freedom of seeing what you couldn't see, because you were just, it's the old thing, you were just way too close to it.
Yeah.
You had to have a much wider view to be able to see it.
That's part of the ascended consciousness.
Exactly.
And one other thing, and then unless we need to say hi to a couple of folks standing
yeah,
by,
sure.
is I was enjoying when you were talking about the kundalini energy having moved to the Andes Mountains, and this happened around 2011, actually, that imagine Mother Earth here has a spine on each side.
Right.
Has a sacred
And I like looking
channel.
at it as a sphere. I really do. Yeah.
And that the Kundalini rising, that the energy of the cycle had moved from India to the Andes, and you can certainly see in many regards how India is needing to remember its spiritual roots.
She's in her own moment.
In a moment
She's
of
in her own moment.
restabilizing,
Yep.
and
as we all are.
And so, but one of the things that I smile at is when we were in Machu Picchu, looking at the mountains, we started to notice the iconography of India. Like one mountain had a complete Ganesh.
Complete. If you've ever stood at Machu Picchu, that's the one to the left. Wow, definitely Ganesha.
It was there. Once you know who and what Ganesha
that
looks
was where,
like, all of a sudden there it is.
And actually, Shri and I went to Peru before we ever went to India to the high Himalayas, and it was there that we knew we were going to go because I was teleporting from Machu Picchu to the high Himalayas.
The energetic
so it started
connection.
our whole journey, actually. Yeah,
that was felt.
Yeah, right after the Ganesha appeared, after we had that big face. Yeah.
And the other little nugget I'd like to share with you today is that as we were working with the Maya from 2010 to 2015, that one of the more profound sharings that came forward from an elder there was, it is silly to look at the calendar to know the energy. The energy will be known by the experience of the energy. And we won't know that we're at the moment the calendar predicted until you feel and sense the energy that matches that prediction. And it isn't necessarily on those dates that people have made up.
And the sincerity.
The total sincerity.
The sincerity. I'm smiling so much because it was said with such integrity. It was so beautiful. And of course they spoke no English. They barely spoke Spanish. This was so beautiful.
And this same elder was sharing also that what will happen to the world, and this is what's in 2013 My
It's in our
Assignment,
book,
is that we're moving into becoming people of honey, was their metaphor. The people of honey. Consider that for a moment. The sweetness, the essence, the nectar. Honey comes from the alchemical transformation of the flowers, the pollen, the fruit. And it is a beautiful metaphor for what is happening as we move into what is essential. Your essence coming forward.
Yes. And in your essence coming forward, honoring those essences of the honey, knowing that honey can also be very sticky. It can hold on longer than you'd like it to. It can become something that is very hard to remove. And so it's important to pay attention that we are in a moment, expansion or contraction, freedom or entrapment, remind, free mind, pull mind, Friday up level. Yeah. It is a week where that shield of Zadkiel is just screaming and saying hello. And so are all those people sitting over at BBS Radio over 517-208-1500 at Oneness, 888-627-6008. But hey, let's start over at BBS now.
All right. We're going to go over to BBS Radio line 4. We have Roberta, it looks like from Michigan, first-time caller.
Hey, first-time caller. Welcome. Namaste.
Namaste. It is my first time, and I just started with the year-long practices for this year.
Wonderful.
Wow, welcome. How exciting. Were you there yesterday?
I was there. I've been, with Patty Peterson and Lisa Almquist probably for the last 14 years and taking little classes here and there. So now I finally decided it's time.
Wow. Well, we are so honored. And what a beautiful sisterhood you are such a part of. Wow. How blessed you really are. So how was yesterday for you?
It was kind of emotional, just being part of it and knowing that there's so many other people out there and just exciting. And I left feeling uplifted and energized and knowing that this is right.
I'm so glad. Oh, that makes, Cheshire cat grin.
Thank you for bringing your heart.
It's just, it's just such a blessing. I mean, we're still really just, melting into what happened as well. And it's just such a gift to be with you right now. Thank you for bringing that radiance in for all of us. How can we serve you today?
I've never had a reading and I would love one.
Oh, well, thank you for asking. And, Shri, would you like to share anything before I begin?
Well, I'm at the most basic level of still enjoying the impact of your sincerity.
Exactly.
And I want to say to you, it is your courage to move forward that will become your strength in the future. Sometimes we're a little hesitant about moving forward, about expanding, and that we kind of need to get our stride and build up our confidence. But once we start taking those steps more fully, all of a sudden, that capacity to grow, that capacity to expand becomes our rock.
Well, I want you to just, if you can, if it's safe to do so, hands to heart, take in a deep breath, close your eyes, bring in that Ave. And it's so beautiful. I keep feeling this energy. It's in like my left shoulder and it's like releasing out. And if I was to put an energy name on it, it's almost like a weakness in the shoulder that's releasing all of this old pain of the heart. And I'm feeling it go track to the physical back of the heart. And then I'm watching this beautiful, the only way I can describe it is it's like a happy face. Remember from years and years ago, the little, the classic yellow happy face with the two lines and the smile. And it's on your heart going happy, 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 happy. Like everything in you. It's like I'm watching you from the time you were born in like this, wow, here you are now moment where you are this queen holding out your arms and all of the you that you have ever been is being held by you right now. And then this adorable little yellow face is going happy, happy, happy because it's just a moment to celebrate. And so know that you have ignited the next stage, and how you hold this beautiful group and how the queen walks will carry forward the next part of the journey. So thank you for the blessing. I am so honored to meet you. I love you so much.
Thank you. Love you too.
Oh.
Many blessings, dear.
Namaste, honey. Namaste.
Namaste.
We love you. I think we all need an AVESA breath.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Let's just take it a deep AVESA breath. Yeah. Wow. I think I need another one. Let's go in. And Shri, I'm really feeling our callers over at BBS. Let's go ahead and say hi to another one.
All right. Looks like on line 2 we have Marcy from Tennessee, I believe, looking for a mini soul reading.
Well, hi. This is Marcy. Hey, Marcy. Welcome.
Oh, namaste, Shri and Kira. How are you?
We are loving you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking my call. Yes, I'm going to be with you all come April, and I am very excited. I cannot wait to be with all your shining self there in person.
Thank you.
We look forward to it.
We are so excited. And make sure you try to get your book, try to get your hardcover copy if you can. It's going to be really...
I got that.
Woohoo! Yes, yes,
I'll
yes.
be bringing it with me.
I love it.
Yes,
So I love it. I want to share.
Surrounded by it all.
All right.
Yes. I called a while back and asked for Shri to look into a shoulder issue that I've been having. And I just wondered if there was any new information that you could share with me surrounding this. It's lightened up a little bit, but it is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you referring to the left shoulder?
Yes.
And when you think about it, when you bring your consciousness to your left shoulder right now, what do you feel?
Oh, wow. I would say the emotion that came immediately was like a hesitation.
Hesitation. Now, as you connect and you feel that energy of hesitation, just smile and say thank you. Take a breath and say to that shoulder, tell me more. Just kind of think that thought. I am open to hearing, knowing, and loving you. Now, you may not want to do this on air. However, what I felt called to do was open up for you to help you connect more intimately with the energy that is calling you. Because hesitation was such a beautiful, honest sharing. And there's more. There's more to be revealed about which ways you're being pulled. What are you shouldering? What's keeping you from having peace and joy, and what are you kind of struggling with? And rather than figure it out with the head, try to analyze it, to just connect with it at the energy body, at the emotional body, at the physical level, and feel it and receive those messages is a great gift. And so I encourage you, that's to be your next step, to do that.
And may I jump in, Shri?
Yeah.
You know, as Shri's been sharing with you, sweetheart, I've really been called to be holding my shoulders kind of in like a pharaohist position. I'm really holding my shoulders. And as Shri was sharing with you, all I kept hearing was, just love you more. And really claim, like when he was talking about shouldering, it's like really loving you and owning you. These are very tied together. And to any time you feel, they're saying it's the constraints of that which seeks to stop you, which is that hesitancy. They said anytime you feel that, anytime you just notice it right here, literally you are the pharaohist. Bring your arms right, bring your hands right there to the shoulders and just stop, spine straight, deep AVESA breath, and pay attention. Because it's like it's calling you through this. You're going to arise faster. You know, it's just that moment of noticing as well. So thank you for sharing, because I know a lot of beings, especially right now, no matter how aware we are, no matter how well we're working on it, things are really trying to pull. And so, yeah, time to say, okay, I am here, I am ready, I am open, guide me. So thank you for calling.
Thank you very much. Namaste. I love you both very much.
Oh, we love you, sweetheart. Mwah. Namaste. Many blessings. Many blessings. Whew, Shri.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's head over to Oneness Talk Radio.
Okay.
And we have a caller that's been standing by a long time. Let's see if they'd like to say hello from New Mexico.
All right. Hey, our old beautiful Tosa Ranch, New Mexico. Hey, New Mexico. Namaste.
Well, I'm from New Mexico.
That would
Then
be
it's you.
That would be you.
Okay. I'm very interested in everything that's been going on since this program started. I broke my leg on the first day of January, and I've been laid up since then, and that's my situation.
All right.
So breathe in, first of all, sweetheart. And let's just I want to invite everyone, this amazing group, whether you're with us live, whether you're time stamping in, right now, I want us all to send the violet ray of healing, transformative energy, the restoration of the full balance that calls in the greater depth of mastery for this moment, that for all who are healing, from a moment where our body has said, I am going to offer a break, something that literally brings us to that moment where we must just be, and that we first send all of our love, our light, and our healing presence to this incredible master. Because we are all in front of a master right now. All I see is violet light, violet, 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 violet everywhere. And all I'm seeing is Archangel Zadkiel and Saint Germain and all of these beings saying, we have never left. We are right with you. We are right here. And they're saying, my love, give it to me. Give me your pain. Give me your sorrow. Give me your fear. Give me your questions. I am right here with you now. And they're saying, write to me. Beloved Zadkiel, beloved universe, beloved Saint Germain, beloved any that calls to you, and say what you need to say without judging what you are saying. And let us speak to you again.
Yes.
For your path has been cleared, and your feet are being lifted, and we are all with you, and you are never alone. And so it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We love you. We honor you. And thank you for sharing and being here.
We love you so much. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And I think we all just need to receive the blessing of what is happening right now.
Yeah.
I'm still really in the energy of this, that for all of us, we as a community, we are. And together we are better. And every Sunday, that was the other thing Shri and I said, okay, from now on, we're going to be with you 2 hours every Sunday. This is our service. This is our community service. This is our time of fellowship in the yoga of self-ascension. This is our time to love each other, to heal the heart of humanity, to step up and say, we are the one. To let go of that which would stop us from being the healers that we are, to remember how many times we've done this before, and to not let anything stop us. That's the gift of this moment, is our tenacity. And now we timed it so that we have this beautiful Lunar New Year that's saying, here it comes, steadfast spiritual tenacity. I love it. I'm in it. I got it. Loving it.
Yes. And you know, one of the things that came forward with our last caller sharing is the expansion of heart energy is the universal healing salve.
Yes.
Whether we are expanding the energy of love and healing, offering it to another being, that they may absorb that as they see fit, that they may utilize that energy, or that through our reflection, another person may love themselves more. And that may, as I love myself even more, as I deepen my surrender to love in this body, miracles happen.
They do. And they happen always. And I do want to share that our caller mentioned that they broke their leg in January, and they're dealing with that and moving through that. Whenever our body, whatever situation causes us to where the body says, I am putting an end to this right now, in whatever way. And then the energy of the break. Do you want to offer just a moment for other people that may have been going through this? Breaks, sprains. Have you noticed there's been a theme today, and it's been getting bigger.
Yeah.
Starting with our first caller. Have you noticed that? We went from the muscles to the bones. Seriously, I think that's worthy of paying attention to, Shri, especially with my amazing, you do know part of our journey this year is the UPLEVEL medical intuitive with this incredible genius.
We're going to be sharing some wonderful information and collaborations with everybody.
So share.
But it's important to remember that when you have an accident, what's really being offered is it's time to change direction.
There it is.
And you can extrapolate on the break as really a heavy-duty metaphor for I cannot support myself the way I was. Ooh. So it's because the bones are about support.
Right.
And so if we have an accident and a break, it's really calling us to go inward to mend our very foundation. This doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. This means your soul through your body is saying, come inside further and love the very foundation of who you are, which is always a spiritual revelation. Even more, even more, even more. And so often we have been living in, even though we may be dedicated, we're still in a comfort zone.
Yes, we are.
We have this zone of, here's my zone of my operating software, so to speak. And then when one of these things happens, one of these big life shakeups, and believe me, I had one 18 months ago. It shook me to my core.
No, it shook us both to our
It shook
core.
us. True. And what I could tell you is that the only way through was a deeper surrender to love, a deeper surrender to spirit. And through that, grace happens. These words are so simple. Yeah. The actual principles at work are so simple. Yet the leap of trust, the surrender, is the journey of your liberation.
Oh, breathe that in. Just really breathe that in. And in this beautiful energy, you know, here we are today broadcasting to you live on a day when many do bring their attention to love.
Yes.
Through the energy of the connection of love in so many different ways. And Shri, I'm looking at the time and we love all of you still holding. Please call back next week. We promise. Call early next week. We'll get you
we'll
on
be
the
taking
air.
callers earlier.
Exactly.
And for right now, as we just honor our beloved sister in New Mexico that is on her.
I'm sending her the shield. And
Yeah.
remember, the shield is creating miracles. Tuesday night, Soul Mirrors, 5 p.m. This shield miracle continues. Tomorrow night, Monday Magic.
Yeah. And for every one of you that has given your sacred attention, your love to being part of this community, I bow to you. I say thank you. We love you. And we look forward to staying connected.
Yes.
Namaste.
Explore the mysteries, 9 o'clock.
There you go. All right.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com. See you next week. Namaste.